Good day, 7:34, about 5-6 degrees at the airport. Good morning, everyone. Alberta is home to nearly half of all the flu cases in the country right now. 7 people have died in our province. 69 people need hospital care, and we're just getting into the flu season. Still, only about 1 out of every 4 Albertans has got a flu shot this year. That falls far short of the provincial goal to immunize 45% of the population. Our Chief Medical Officer of Health doesn't know why people are choosing to not get vaccinated.
By getting this message out, hopefully those people that have been waiting for something, maybe this is it, will take advantage, because there is lots of vaccine available through our public health clinics. The 4 sites that we have here in Calgary are still going.
Dr. McDonald is surprised at the lack of concern from some people about influenza. She says if they reported 30 deaths from another vaccine-preventable disease, like perhaps measles, people would be outraged. In fact, last year, 30 people did die after contracting influenza. Nearly 930,000 shots have been given to date.
I've had one ever since I worked 20 years ago. My company used to pay for it. And ever since then, as soon as the Alberta government made it free, why not? You know, and I'm over 65, so it's a good idea.
When I was younger, I used to get them, but I don't know about now.
Well, I guess they do recommend them when you're pregnant, and I have had the flu almost every winter, so I figured it was time.
By the way, doctors say it takes about 2 weeks, give or take, for the flu shot to kick in to start protecting you from getting sick. There are still 4 free flu shot clinics in the city of Calgary. You can get your shot as well at a doctor's office or at a local pharmacy. In Lethbridge, dozens of surgeries are canceled now after strange dark residues being found on surgical equipment in Chinook Regional Hospital. The substance is showing up on operating room equipment after the items have been sterilized and cleaned. Until tests can identify what it is, about 60 surgeries are being canceled. Health officials believe the residue poses a low risk to patients, but they're not taking any chances.
All of our parameters that we measure to determine whether there is a risk from any kind of infectious concern have been normal. So we do a bunch of measures that include chemical measures, biologic indicators, and the physical parameters of the actual steam processing.
Emergency surgeries and procedures are still being performed in the hospital here using equipment from other Alberta healthcare facilities. Anti-pipeline protesters in Burnaby, BC vow to keep fighting back. Mounties arresting 26 people at a makeshift camp on Burnaby Mountain yesterday. RCMP are enforcing a court injunction here, ordering protesters to leave. The injunction was issued Monday to Kinder Morgan, a Calgary-based energy company that wants to expand its Trans Mountain pipeline to move oil from Edmonton to Burnaby. Of the 26 people arrested, 5 remain in custody this morning. Time to focus on business. Inflation numbers are out. Business editor Mike Eppel joining us now. Mike, inflation is up, led by Alberta.
Yeah. The provincial inflation rate at 3% year over year, Ted, and the overall inflation rate for the rest of the country, 2.4%. All of these numbers way above forecast. We were figuring that with the diminished cost to fill up the gas tank, that would lead to a little bit of easing in price pressures. Didn't really happen. In fact, you look at the natural gas rate that consumers are paying, that's up 20% year over year, even though the raw material hasn't done much recently. And add to the mix, go to the grocery store, meat prices are way up, bacon specifically, and they've even shrunk the packaging. We've also paid more for food and clothing and new cars and trucks. It all added up to a higher cost of living for the month of October. That is one of the buy signals on the Canadian dollar this morning. The other was a surprise out of the Bank of China, the central bank, announcing an interest rate reduction for the first time in 2 years. The economy in China, it's been struggling a little bit. Now, at a still 7% growth rate, it's still good, but they're worried that it could dampen off further, so they're cutting interest rates, and they announced that very early this morning. That led to a huge buying spree on the overseas markets and filtering into what we're seeing at the start of the trading day on Wall Street, where already the Dow is up 100 points. It's into record territory. The TSX is up by almost 100 points in the early going, and it's moving higher for the 12th time in 13 trading days. What a rally the TSX has been on here over the past several trading days. And we've also seen the price for oil early on spiked by 2%. It's cooled off a little bit, but still back above $77 per barrel. So has the Chinese central bank move been a signal for maybe a bottom in the oil market? That's something to watch for over the next several days. Of course, the next catalyst will be next week, Thursday, when OPEC meets to talk about production levels. We also have the Royal Bank announcing some changes at its wealth management operations and restructuring there that will potentially lead to some job cuts. But overall, terrific start to the trading day this Friday morning, and indeed more records stateside, and big day on Bay Street as well. Have a good weekend, Ted.
You too as well, Mike. Thank you very much. That's business editor Mike Apple. You can hear Mike on 660 News at 26 and 56 after the hour.